देवतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम नमो भगवते रुद्राय ओम नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यहुतोदैषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुदते नमः यात इषुः शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्याया तव तया नो रुद्रमृडया या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवा शन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्ष्यस्तवे शिवां गिरित्रतां कुरु माहिगुं श्रीपुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत् अद्य वोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहीगश्च सर्वान् जम्भयन् सर्वांश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिताः सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेडयीमहे असौ यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उदैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उदैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्तियोर्ज्याम् याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वप अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशतेषु धे निशीर्य शल्याणां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विज्यं धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नादताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निहेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यबाहवे पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय त्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्रुषाय विव्याधिनेनानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय ददाविने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नम उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निर्व्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे सेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते सायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमोऽसिमद्भ्यो नक्तं चरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नम उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नम इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नम आसीनेभ्यश्च यानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्यो अश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविध्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नम उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः क्षत्रिभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः श्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो मीढुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवेजाजिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय चावस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्ध्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय चाहनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषु धिमते च नमः तीक्ष्णे च वेचायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कूप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईध्रियाय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेश्मियाय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ॐ हर 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 ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आतार्याय च लाध्याय च नमः षष्ठ्याय च भेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नम इरिण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किगुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमः सल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काढ्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवे च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्क्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्व्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमो पगुरमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नमः आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो वक्किरिकेभ्यो देवानागं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नमः आनिर्हतेभ्यो नमः आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणाम् येषां पशूनां माभेर्मारोमो येषां किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनुशिवा विश्वाह भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तया नो मृडजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिम् यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रो तनो मयस्कृधि क्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छं च योश्च मनुराय जे पिता तदश्यामदव रुद्रप्रणीतौ मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितम् मानो वधीः पितरं मोदमातरं प्रियामानस्तनुः रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोकेतनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान् मानो रुद्रभामितो वधीर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आराते गोघ्न उत पूरुषघ्ने क्षयद्वीराय सुम्नमस्मेते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यदा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः सुहिश्रुतं गर्दसदं युवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्नुमुग्रम् मृडाचरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणक्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरा मघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढस्तोकायतनयाय मृडया मीढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्तिं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विकिरिद विलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगं हेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निवपन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्याम् तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वदन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवाधि नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठाः शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा पतयो विशिखासक्कपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथां पथि रक्षय ऐलभृदायव्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति सृजावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वदन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षमिषभस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु तेयं द्विष्मो यश्च नो द्वेष्टितं वोजम्भे दधामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सु य ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु ये ते सहस्रमयुतं पाशा मृत्यो मर्त्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो मा विशान्तकः तेनान्नेनाप्यायस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि तमुष्टु हि यश्विषुः सुधन्वायो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वामहेसौ मनसाय रुद्रं नमोभिर्देवमसुरं दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजो यगुं शिवाभिमर्शनः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
I offer my most loving pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Swami. Respected elders, brothers, sisters and children, Jai Sai Ram. On behalf of Mill Hill Sai Centre, I would like to wish you all on the occasion of Ladies' Day. Ladies' Day celebrations started in Puttaparthi in the year 1995. Some of the senior lady devotees had prayed to Swami for a separate day for ladies, and Swami agreed for this to be done on the 19th of November. It was a grand celebration on the day, with the ladies playing the traditional Nadaswaram, welcoming Swami in a procession, and many of the ladies were in special saris given by Swami for the occasion. Later, they had a music program by the noted film playback singer Srimati P. Sushila. The ladies had also planned a service project, a Gordhanam, also known as donating cows, which is considered a very sacred offering, and this was done in Swami's presence. In the evening, the place outside Swami's residence was decorated with hundreds of oil lamps. Overall, it was truly a sight to behold, and thus started the Ladies' Day celebrations. Bhagavan initiated Ladies' Day celebrations to emphasize to the whole world the crucial role of women in society. He reminded us that women have a special duty to restore reverence and right action in the home and society. We would like to begin today's program with a short video of last year's Ladies' Day program in Puttaparthi. That was the first time we had a joint international offering by the ladies. The last 8 months of this year had been very challenging for all of us, but probably more so to the women who have been doing their regular jobs in addition to taking care of the children's homeschooling and managing the house. Many ladies of our centre have also been actively participating in service initiatives such as preparing visors, sewing, cooking food for the homeless, and so on. As part of our Ladies' Day celebrations, we present video messages from some of the ladies expressing their gratitude to Swami for working through them.
Sairam everyone, this is a message from Auntie Anna Panchanathan about her experience with the lockdown period. Sairam to all brothers, sisters and children. During the first couple of weeks of lockdown, I felt a bit upset as I was not able to get out of the house and meet my friends. I used to go for my Keep Fit sessions, attend bhajans, community events and so on. I was trained to be a chaplain at Northwick Park Hospital as a volunteer. Every week on Wednesdays, I used to conduct Hindu prayers in the hospital chapel, praying for the patients, hospital staff and community. Also chanting Gayatri Mantra and Mrutyunjay Mantra, singing bhajans and Hanuman Chalisa. After prayers, I used to visit the elderly patients in the hospital and comfort them by talking to them. I used to feel sad that I had to stop my service. Then I got used to it. I was blessed by Swami to have an opportunity to join the group singing done by our centre for the auspicious festivals. There are so many groups conducting events online and I decided to join them. Now, almost the whole week and weekends, I am so busy with various activities. I'm back to my spirits again. On Thursdays, I listen to the Shirdi Sai Charitra. I join the Sai group from Whitefield Sai Samiti and sing bhajans. On Mondays, I sing bhajans with another group. I attend spiritual programs on Zoom, learn music and slokas online. We run a charity organisation and we conduct live vegetarian cookery show on Zoom and many other events, and I learn traditional music on Wednesdays. Most importantly, I keep in touch with family and friends abroad and locally every day, and I feel more closer relationship than before. Finally, I'm very happy because as Swami says, I'm not wasting time and I'm making full use of it for my betterment. Time is something that my father used to teach to us from our childhood, and I have taught my children the same thing. I advise them, if you lose anything in life, you can get it back, but time is the only thing nobody can take back. Every moment is precious and priceless. Our lifespan is ticking away every second. So never waste time, and now my children are also following it. I have heard many of Swami's discourses, and he always says, if you have lost wealth, you have lost nothing. If you have lost health, you have lost something. If you have lost character, you have lost everything. So don't waste time, don't waste money, help the poor, don't waste food. People are dying without food. Don't waste water. I take these as my Taraka mantra. Sai Ram from Auntie Anna.
Loving Sai Ram. In March 2020, images of hospital teams struggling to obtain protective equipment in the face of the breaking COVID-19 crisis flashed across our TV screens. Initially, I felt helpless and wondered if there was anything we could do. But then, with Swami's grace, I was grateful to join a team with fellow Sai devotees and community groups to manufacture visors. Our kitchen tables became tiny manufacturing lines. Then friends and family joined in, and we also joined a local visor army. All were selfless, all were committed, and all stepped in to make a contribution in their small way to support this worthy cause. There is a saying that sums up how it felt, which is, something very beautiful happens to people when their world has fallen apart. A humility, a nobility, a higher intelligence emerges at just the point when our knees hit the floor. By Marianne Wilson. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram. With Swami's grace, a message via the Mill Hill Sai Centre Ladies Group was shared, inviting us to make PPE visors for hospital staff. It was such a wonderful lockdown seva opportunity, which enabled our entire family and friends to get involved and, more importantly, to serve others. Other than keeping children and adults occupied, it was a hugely rewarding experience. There was a real feeling of love and togetherness amongst the group. Many of us didn't even know each other, and yet, with a common purpose in mind, there was a real communal feel of oneness and unity. As Swami says, oneness must express itself in universal love. For me, this was a true example of that oneness. With Sai love, Jai Sai Ram.
Let us pray that our beloved Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba blesses us with this mission and inspires us to work towards the goal of Dharma for women. Dharma for women is our fervent cry. Dharma for women is our spiritual tie. Dharma for women, mothers are held high. Dharma for women, consciousness will fly. Dharma for women is the mission of Sai.
Swami lovingly reminds us in his discourses on the roles that women play in our society. Women as change agents. Women through developing the qualities of sympathy, compassion, love, and sacrifice to take up the reins of leadership and bring peace and prosperity to the nation by leading ideal lives. Women have hidden powers within them, and we have to encourage them to exhibit their talents at home, work, and in society. There is nothing in this world that women cannot achieve. Recognizing the nature of such women, we must encourage them and give them equal opportunities in society. Develop self-confidence, and under any circumstances, uphold your self-respect.
Om Shri Sai Ram. We offer our most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Swami. On this special occasion, the devotees of Mill Hill Sai Center have joined together to partake in a musical offering to our dearest Bhagwan. Our first piece is dedicated to Lord Ganesh, who we ask to make our undertakings free of obstacles by extending his blessings in our work always. Jai Sai Ram.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Akashasya Devo Vishnu Agneshaiva Maheshwari Vayu Surya Kshiresha
Sri Sai Ram. From the moment Swami embarked on his divine mission, he laid stress on the supreme importance of Nama Smarana in the spiritual unfoldment of a devotee, especially in the Kali Yuga. Therefore, let us fill our hearts with love and chant the name of the Lord, the name that destroys sins, removes sorrows, bestows highest peace, and supports those who have no support. The name that is life's treasure for all devotees. Let us chant that name, Rama, Rama, Rama.
Let us now join in to sing the glory of our beloved Mother Sai, after which we will have a talk by our guest speaker.
Brightly shines the Lord incarnate. Brightly shines the Lord incarnate.
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ब्रह्म ज्ञानं ब्रह्म अनन्तं ब्रह्म अनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ब्रह्म ज्ञानं ब्रह्म अनन्तं ब्रह्म सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म
The Prayer to Our Father. O Thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiest. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe just as on earth. Give us wisdom for our daily need. Detach the fetters of faults that bind us, like we let go the guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things, but let us be freed from that what keeps us from our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age. Amen.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad.
We are pleased to introduce to you our guest speaker for the day, Sister Aparna Murali. Aparna Murali is deeply grateful to be born in a family devoted to our dearest Bhagavan since the early 1960s. While SSC laid the foundation, 3 years as his student in Anantapur sealed the deal that loving God is the greatest adventure. Professionally, Aparna is a board-certified genetic counsellor in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the University of California. Aparna feels blessed to have had the opportunity to serve in the Sri Satya Sai organization as an officer at the Centre, Region, National and Zone 1, which includes the USA and Canada. She was part of the inaugural committee of facilitators for the Sri Satya Sai Young Adult Leadership Programme in 2015. She was a core planning team member for the first National USA Sai Women's Conference in 2019 and most recently the 2020 SSIO Ladies' Day online celebration. Aparna currently serves as the National Education Coordinator of SSIO USA. With Bhagwan's blessings, we present our guest speaker for the day, Aparna Murali. Jai Sai Ram.
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा त्वमेव सर्वं श्री साई देवा त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा. My love and gratitude to my most beloved Sai, who is my mother, my father, my family, my friend, my wisdom and my treasure. My love and gratitude to the Sai who resides in each of your hearts. Sai Ram, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters and children, it is such a delight to join you all today from Los Angeles for this very special celebration. I want to express my gratitude to all the officers and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to reflect on one of the most extraordinary days in my life. Of course, each day is quite extraordinary because of the presence of Bhagwan in it, for no other reason. But there is this one special day that kind of stands out. And I wanted to share some experiences from that day and also 3 lessons that I learned from it after reflecting about that day. Yes, it is of course November 19th, 1995, and I was seated in the Purnachandra auditorium, eagerly waiting for Swami. I was in the students section, and there was a lot of buzz around that special day because it was the first time a Ladies' Day was being celebrated, and nobody knew what the program was going to be. So there was a lot of excitement in the air. And now when I look back, I feel like Swami has been preparing us for that day for a very long time, very, very long time. If you read about Swami's life when he was a child and a teenager, as a young adult, and even once we started getting audio recordings and pictures and videos about Swami, you will notice that he has been consistently the biggest supporter of women's empowerment. If you think about it, among all the avatars, Rama avatar, Krishna avatar, Buddha, Parashurama, and even before, maybe with the exception of Jesus, no other avatar has given so much importance to their mother. Mother Ishwaramba was a constant fixture throughout his life. And even after the passing of Mother Ishwaramba, Swami made sure that her memory stays alive in all our hearts. Not only honoring his mother, but even his sisters. And not only honoring his sisters, all the women whom he invited to be a part of the organization when the organization first started in the 60s, early 60s. Women had a very special place. There was the Mahila wing or the women's wing. And there was the opportunity to be Balvika's gurus, where he invited women to share their wisdom and experience with all the children. And then, of course, in 1968, Swami started the Sri Satyasai Arts and Science College for Women in Anantapur. The first of his educational institution, it was for women. And a few years later, in Brindavan, Swami chanted the Gayatri Mantra and he initiated everybody who was present in the audience into the secrets of chanting the Gayatri Mantra. And that included women as well. So when you think about it, Swami was quite radical. He was quite progressive. Even before feminists were being recognized, Swami was already leading the way for all of us to follow. So it almost felt like November 19th, 1995, the world was now ready to acknowledge the important role that women have been playing for a very long time, for centuries now. And then Swami proclaimed that every November 19th should be celebrated as Ladies' Day to acknowledge the role that women have to play. So we were all seated in the Purnachandra auditorium, waiting in excitement to see what is going to happen. It was a closely guarded secret, I'm sure. And of course, each of us might have a different perspective or insight into that day. I'm sure there might be many of you who were also present on that first Ladies' Day. I just want to share some of my own perspectives and what I learned from that day. The Nadaswaram started from the mandir, so we knew that Swami was coming. And when they entered the auditorium, we were all very surprised and sort of amused that it was women who were playing the Nadaswaram. And then this was followed by Anantapur students chanting the Veda. And then there were about 6 women holding ceremonial objects, silver objects. And then there was Swami, who was wearing a yellow robe, and all the women in the procession were also wearing a yellow robe, those who were behind him. And these were women, some of them I recognized. There was Vidya Auntie, Vidya Srinivas, who was at that time, I believe, the National Balvikas coordinator. There was Mrs. Indulal Shah, who was instrumental in getting the Balvikas movement started and structured in the rest of the country. And there were a lot of other devotees, not only from India, from outside of India as well, many of whom now I recognize when I watch the video. And there were, I would say, more than 100 women, because once they got onto stage, Swami lit the lamp and he asked all the women who came in the procession to sit around his chair on the stage. And it was a very powerful moment. Seated in the audience, you're looking up, and usually Swami has men on either side of his chair. But here, for the first time, at least for me, it was the first time, I was seeing Swami honoring all these women. Some of them were officers, some of them are workers, some of them were spouses or mothers of men who served in the organization, but Swami was recognizing all of them, saying these are very important instruments of my divine mission. And that was a sight to behold. And there were speakers, and Swami gave his discourse as well, which was very powerful, and I want to share 3 highlights from it. Later in the evening, there was program and there were speakers, all done by women. So in Anantapur campus, I am quite used to seeing all activities being coordinated by women. But this was the first time I was seeing that it was happening in Prashanti Nilayam as well. So it was a very joyful and a proud moment. And I'm so grateful to Bhagwan for giving me the opportunity to be physically present and experience this moment. It's something that I cherish very deeply. And it was also the first time that I heard our Anantapur warden do the translation for Swami. And that also felt very special, that women are getting so many opportunities, visible opportunities. Not that it really matters, in the sense that I knew that women serve Swami in so many different ways, but that acknowledgement from Swami that women are important in the divine mission felt really good. So, as I was reflecting and preparing for this satsang, I had a chance to read and also watch the discourse that Bhagwan gave on Ladies' Day. And I want to share a few highlights from that discourse with all of you. Swami started the discourse with a bang. He said, among all of creation, there are so many millions of beings. Human beings have a very exalted status. And among human beings, he said, 3 women are even more exalted or superior or privileged. And that made me stop in my tracks when I read those words. Swami saying that it is a privilege to be born as a woman. And to hear God say that was just so powerful. So powerful. Because it is not something most women tend to hear, either from their families or their friends or myriad of settings that women are in. Generally, women are thought to be the weaker gender. But here, Bhagwan was saying that it was a privilege to be born as a woman. And he elaborated with many examples. Mother Kausalya, Putlibai, and even Queen Victoria. Later in the discourse, Swami mentions Queen Victoria and the Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, how they ruled their respective nations with such integrity. So here he was pointing out that there are many women in public life who have been instrumental in guiding their children and the destiny of their own countries. So that was very powerful. Here Swami is telling us and reminding us of the special privilege that we have to be born as women. Later in the discourse, Swami elaborated on the word Stri. That's a Sanskrit word for a woman. And he said that it is made up of three consonants: Sa, Ta, and Ra. Three. It's made of three consonants. So as I was reading the discourse, I was thinking about the qualities that Swami mentioned and about the women who embody those qualities for me. Swami said the first quality is Sa or Sattvic, and that is the experiencing divinity through three methods or three techniques or approaches, which is the first one is Salokyam, which is having the vision of the divine, Samipyam, which is proximity to divinity, and Sayujyam, which is merging with divinity. And as I was reflecting on it, the first person that came to mind was Mother Ishwaramba. Swami has mentioned to several devotees, and it is even documented in the book Mother Ishwaramba, the Chosen Mother, that the first recipient of an avatar's grace, avatar is when divinity descends on earth, the first recipient of an avatar's grace is the mother of the avatar. So Swami blessed Mother Ishwaramba, someone who was born and raised in a village, who did not have any formal education at all, but had a heart so pure that God Himself chose her to be His mother. And then I thought about the proximity that Mother Ishwaramba had with our Bhagwan. When he was a newborn baby, the way she must have held him in her hands, the way she should have, or she would have taken care of him as a baby, as an infant, as a toddler, as a child, and how she must have felt when Swami rebelled against eating meat and would give his food readily to anybody who was asking for alms. And Swami would even give his clothing away to anybody who was experiencing cold. I wondered how Mother Ishwaramba must have felt in those moments. And then as a teenager, when Swami did the ultimate rebellion, threw his books away, and he declared, "My devotees are waiting for me. I belong to my devotees. I no longer belong to my family." I thought how Mother Ishwaramba must have felt, and how her own journey transformed from being a mother to being a devotee, to being an instrument in his mission, and finally merging in Swami. They say during your last moments, when you are able to think about God, you must have done a lot of good karma. Not only good karma, you must have practiced diligently remembering God during your waking hours. So it becomes a constant habit for you. It is second nature, that even though you may or may not recognize that it is your last moments, that you think about God. And Mother Ishwaramba did it. And when she called out to Swami, Swami immediately responded. So she is such a wonderful role model on how to see the divine, seek proximity, and finally merge in Him. The second consonant, which is Ta, Swami says, stands for tamasic. And he clarifies, he says it is not tamasic in the sense that usually you associate the tamoguna with being lazy. He says it is not in that sense. The ta that he refers to is this spirit of humility, of modesty, of meekness, where a woman learns to serve her family and the society in a spirit of full surrender to the God. And there are so many women who come to mind when I think about this definition that Swami has given for Ta. Shauri auntie or Mrs. Shauri, who is the chief Sevadal on the ladies' side, she comes to mind. All my teachers in Anantapur, our warden, Gemma madam at that time, our assistant warden, Pushpa madam, our principal, Professor Hemalata, all these women had extraordinary careers, came from very affluent backgrounds, but yet they made that sacrifice readily to serve Swami in his divine mission. So they embody through their lives that quality of humility and modesty. And the third consonant, which is Ra or Rajasic, Swami says, it is not anger as we typically associate Rajas with. Swami said, it is that fierce determination to protect and uphold what is good and serve the society. And Swami further in his discourse talks about the nature of women and this fierce determination that they have to protect their children and their family. And of course, the person who came to mind was my own mother. When I was probably 9 or 10 years old, it was a summer afternoon, and I was playing outside and I was thirsty, so I ran quickly inside just to get a glass of cold water. And as I was rushing to the refrigerator, my mom asked me to wash my hands because I was playing outside, they were dirty, and then to get the glass and get the water. So I washed my hands, I got the glass, and then I opened the refrigerator. And at that time, during summer months especially, there was a lot of fluctuations in electricity. And it so happened that at that moment when I touched the handle of the refrigerator, the electricity started passing through my body. And I was shaking. And I don't remember the details, but I remember calling out for my mother, Amma, Amma. And she heard me and she came rushing in. And she saw that I was stuck to the refrigerator. So she tried to grab me and pull me away from the refrigerator. And she got stuck to me. And my father went to the electricity meter that was there in the house and he turned it off. And then finally, my mom pulled me away from the refrigerator. And now when I think about it, that moment is etched in my heart that my mother would not care about her safety at all. And her first instinct was to protect me, not only protect me, but to save me as well. So without thinking twice, she came rushing into the kitchen and she grabbed me. And that is something that I feel like a lot of mothers demonstrate. Maybe in different ways. Maybe it is not as dramatic as coming and rescuing your child from being electrocuted. It could be even something simple as the lunch or the dinner is ready. Even though the mother is hungry, she always wants to feed the family first before she will get a bite of food herself. Even those simple acts of sacrifice demonstrates a fierce determination to protect her family. And not only on a physical level. If you think about it, most of the mothers are responsible for nudging their children to enroll in SSC or Balvikas. They also nudge you and remind you to say your prayers and to remember Swami and to think of Swami always. So I feel like Swami, when he talks about the Rajasic quality, the Ra, it really means that fierce determination to protect and preserve all that is good and all that is divine. And towards the end of the discourse, Swami called out to all the women to make a promise, to make a divine promise. And it was really powerful to hear Swami issue this call to all women. He said, it is up to women to change themselves and change their families, to take up leadership roles and to bring peace and prosperity to the country. And hearing that now got goosebumps in my hands, where Swami was exhorting women to bring about the change that is much needed in the society. And it is such a wonderful reminder on this Ladies' Day, for me personally, to reflect on the first Ladies' Day and remember what Swami did and what Swami said. And if I have to summarize it, it kind of comes down to three. The word three rhymes with three, so I thought it's an easy way to remember it as well. So the first one is to believe. To believe that it is a privilege to be born as a woman. The second message is to include. Swami powerfully demonstrated by having the women play the Nadaswaram, by having the students chant the Vedas, and by having all those women who are part of the organization in different capacities join him in the procession and on the stage. And these are women from different countries. That sense of inclusiveness that Swami demonstrated, that is a second big lesson for me. That we are all in this together. Yes, we might be walking on different tracks, but we are walking together, and to always include as many women as possible. And the third message for me is whatever change that I wish to see in this world has to begin with me first. When I change the way I think, when I change the way I speak, and when I change the way I act, there is already peace and harmony. And when you love Swami with all your heart, it is so easy to change, and that comes from just following his teachings. So I want to thank all of you again for giving me this precious opportunity to think about that extraordinary day in my life and to share a few reflections with all of you. I want to wish you a very blessed Swami's birthday. And I want to also wish peace, health, and prosperity to all. Thank you again, and thank you, Swami. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sister Aparna, for your enlightening talk. It was beautiful to hear your special memories of being part of the first Ladies' Day celebrations in Prashanti Nilayam in November 1995. It was inspiring to listen to your key messages on believing that it's a privilege to be born as a female, inclusivity of ladies in all activities, and the importance of self-transformation in order to bring about change at home and in the society. These are messages that we will definitely remember and take forward. Thank you, and Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. We will shortly start the meditation. Please sit comfortably with back straight and sufficient space around you. The chanting of the Sai Gayatri will be played in the background. Please do not chant along with it, as this is a session for silent meditation. Let us focus our mind on Swami and set aside all other thoughts. At the end of the meditation, there will be a 1-minute silence. Now we will start the meditation.
ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्।
Shri Sai Ram. Mill Hill Sai Centre hope you enjoyed today's offering of bhajans. Thought for the week. Divinity is immanent in every being, but who is responsible for this divinity within? The mother who has borne you for 9 months with many difficulties and is even ready to sacrifice her life for your welfare. You owe your existence to your mother. The welfare of the children depend on the mother. It is because of the mother's love that children become eminent and great. So the foremost duty of every individual is to be grateful to one's mother, respect her and serve her. The Ladies' Day serves as a reminder that one should revere and love one's mother and never hurt her feeling. It is not only the rulers who protect the nation, but women of great chastity are also responsible. All the prosperity and good we find in this land of Bharat is due to the strength of women of virtue. Divine Discourse, November 19th, 1998. Baba.
Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Jai Salam. The grateful doing is start the day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. That's the way for God. Baba, Jai Salam.
My most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Jai Sai Ram. These are the announcements for Sunday, the 22nd of November. Mill Hill Sai Centre birthday programs. As per our tradition, we will celebrate Swami's 95th birthday on the morning of the 23rd November, so we will meet online at 5 a.m. tomorrow, the 23rd of November. The program will begin with 21 Omkars and Suprabhatam, followed by special bhajans and a birthday song. On Sunday the 29th November, we will again celebrate Swami's birthday with special offerings by the SSC children, the youth and the adults. This program will begin at 8:20 a.m. and conclude with Aarti. SSC classes and Vedam classes will be held at the usual time. Regional birthday celebrations. Region 3 is organising a day-long birthday celebration which begins with a Homam and includes reflections by various Sai devotees across the region. From 8 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. there will be Homam and reflections. From 11 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. regional bhajans contributed by all centres and groups in the region. A birthday offering which includes offerings from different centres, a narration on the theme Swami School Days, and regional SSC offerings on the connection between the teachings of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita and Swami's 9-point code of conduct will be presented in 2 sessions, from 2 to 4:30 p.m. and again from 5 to 7:30 p.m. Paduka Abhishekam and Puja from 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. will be followed by a musical offering from 9:15 p.m. to 10 p.m. Feedback. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions regarding the programs being organised by the Mill Hill Sai Centre or anything else we can do as a centre, please do share your thoughts with our centre chair on millhill.centrechair@gmail.com or 077 22 197 830. We wish you all a happy and holy week ahead. Jai Sai Ram.